Okay, so excited for another class. We're gonna start on our backs, and if you want a little bit of a heart stretch, a little heart opening to start, then I invite you to just make sure you have all your props nearby. Grab your blanket or your bath towel or whatever you have, and roll it up so it's like a little Tootsie Roll, right? Little small bolster. Take it to the back of the mat. You're gonna lie down, you're gonna leave about an 8-inch space, right? So we don't put our lower back on the blanket. And just roll on down, make sure that the spine is nice and comfortable. And then put your hands behind your head and just sort of roll up the back of the blanket so you have a nice little cradle for your neck, kind of right where the neck and the base of the skull meet. Arms can open about shoulder width, palms face up. And then walk those feet out to the edges of the mat. And let the knees fall in towards one another in this really nice, yummy, constructive rest. If you're like, yeah, I could do without the blanket tonight, Leah, then that's fine too, right? You can always just lay on the mat as it is. And close down the eyes. And settle in here. Just taking a few moments to notice the body, the mind, right? Not telling stories, not making up stories, good, bad, tired, energetic, right? Just notice, just be in this moment. And settling in, focusing on areas of the body that are tense and just breathing into those areas, releasing any of that tension, and then letting the mind begin to focus on the breath. Right? So in yoga, we always want to find that place of anchoring, using that breath, that inhale and exhale to keep drawing us back into this present moment so that we don't lose sight of what's sort of happening right now in our body, right? Because our body tells us stories. Our body holds everything that's going on inside us. So as we're working through the asanas, we're able to learn more about ourselves that we can then take off of the mat and hopefully show up into our week and into our world just a little bit more calm and present and compassionate. So I'm going to start as you recline by reading, I love this book, Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening, and today's reading is always one that gets me. And I'm going to just share that with you. This is from the Talmud. When Akiva was on his deathbed, he bemoaned to his rabbi that he felt he was a failure. His rabbi moved closer and asked, why? And Akiva confessed that he had not lived a life like Moses. The poor man began to cry, admitting that he feared God's judgment. At this, his rabbi leaned into his ear and whispered gently, God will not judge Akiva for not being Moses. God will judge Akiva for not being Akiva. I just think that's so beautiful. It's this reminder that we are born with only one obligation, and that's to be completely who we are. Yet, how much of our time is spent comparing ourselves to others? I mean, even dead people, right? Dead or alive. This is encouraged as necessary in the pursuit of excellence. Yet a flower in its existence that doesn't yearn to be a fish, and a fish doesn't choose to be a tiger. But we humans find ourselves always falling into this dream of another life, where we secretly aspire to have the fortune and fame of people that we really don't even know. When feeling badly about ourselves, we often try on others' skins, rather than understanding and caring for our own. Yet when we compare ourselves to others, we see neither ourselves nor those we look up to. We only experience the tension of comparing. I'm going to repeat that. We only experience the tension of comparing. As if there is only 1 ounce of being to feed all of our hungers. Yet the universe reveals its abundance most clearly when we can be who we are. Being human, though, we are often troubled and blocked by insecurity and the windedness of heart that makes us feel unworthy. And when winded and troubled, we sometimes feel compelled to puff ourselves up. For in our pain, it seems to make sense that if we were larger, we would be further from the pain. If we were larger, we would be harder to miss. If we were larger, we'd have a better chance of being loved. Then, not surprisingly, others need to be made smaller so we can maintain our illusion of seeming bigger than our pain. Of course, history is the humbling story of our misbegotten inflations. The truth is the corrective story of how we return to exactly who we are. And compassion, sweet compassion, is the never-ending story of how we embrace each other and forgive ourselves for not accepting our beautifully particular place in the fabric of all that there is. So visualize that. Visualize your own stitch, your own thread in this tapestry of life, and how important and how special you are in that story. Because without you, it would unravel. All right. Taking one last breath here, coming up with an intention, something to hold you through class today. If you are on that bolster, I'm just gonna have you take those legs over to the left, and you can just roll to the left and pull that blanket out from behind you, and then come back onto the back, yeah? Once we're here, we're gonna use our strap a little bit and open up our hips. So go ahead and find that strap. I want you to strap both feet right underneath the toes, right at the ball mount of the feet. And reach those toes, those heels straight up to the sky. Let the arms extend, grasping the strap, one in each hand. And then make sure that your shoulder blades relax down, your shoulders relax back to the floor. Just hold here for a minute and breathe. See how that feels. Maybe even take a little bit more of the toes towards the face, so these heels are reaching a little bit higher towards the ceiling. And just notice any difference in the stretch happening, moving up the backs of the legs into the hamstrings. Right? We do so much work with the thighs and the fronts of the legs, the quadricep muscles, but getting into those hamstrings a little bit. Maybe you can even draw your legs a little bit towards the back of the room, but keeping the sacrum planted, right? So we don't want to roll up here. We want to keep that sacrum planted and thinking length throughout the spine. Finding the breath, really enjoying this breath, letting that exhale draw the belly in and up. Good, final stretch here. We're gonna go ahead and just keep that strap in the right foot, and I want you to slowly release that left leg down to the floor, nice and slow. Once it's there, toes should be pointing up to the ceiling. Let's take the strap in the right hand, bring the left hand onto that left thigh, left hip, to press that right side down. And then I just want you to begin to twist that right leg in and out, right? So we're taking the toes to the left and the toes to the right. I feel like that should be a song. Toes to the left, toes to the right. So we're internally and externally rotating the thigh, but we're still feeling that stretch happening. Now leave the leg out in that external rotation, and then see if you can't release that right leg out to the side, opening up that inner right groin. Breathing here. Notice if you have any stress or tension in the throat or the neck. Try to let that go. It's very easy to get that little stress and tension in there when we open up the leg like this. Bring it back through center. Good. And then just take that left hand to the strap. Right hand moves to the hip crease of the right side and roll that flesh away. And then maybe cross the leg over the body just a little bit. Breathing in and out. And we're going to take this a little further today. Now release that right hand, bring it out to the side, palm face down. You're going to need that to help you stay kind of connected. I want those left toes pointing up to the sky. And then I want you to draw the leg even further. Let that right hip come off the floor. Maybe that right leg even touches down. Ooh. Feel that stretch. Nice breaths here. Release that right shoulder and gently bring that right leg back up. Nice. Go ahead and bring that right foot up to meet the left foot up to meet the right, sorry. We're going to strap the left foot, release the right foot, and then again, let that right leg slowly melt to the floor. Toes are facing up, so we're having that internal rotation of the thighs. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed, the arms are nice and straight. Bring the strap into the left hand, the right hand's gonna come to the right hip point, and we're just gonna slowly again begin to open up to the left. So as the arm extends, it could be bent, the elbow, it could be straight, so the arm is nice and close to the leg, right? Whatever your comfort level is, just breathe and hold. Again, noticing any tension, letting it go. And then inhale, bring that left leg back up. Good, let's go ahead and take hold of the strap. Actually, we're just gonna do that little twisting, turning thing here. So toes in and out. You should feel that all the way in to that ball and socket, right, of the joint in the femur and in the hip bone. In and out. Good. And then with those toes, let's go ahead and bring those toes nice and straight to center. Take that left hand to the strap, right hand moves into that hip crease, roll that flesh away, and then again, let the leg cross the body. Not too much, right? Because we still want that left hip on the floor. We're not quite ready to take that full on twist yet. Last breath here, stretching, releasing. Now let that left arm come all the way out. And we can slowly take that left leg all the way across the body, letting the leg land wherever it lands. Or not, it could just be hovering in space. And then slowly coming back up through center. Oh, good. Let's go ahead and unstrap that left foot, let it float down to the ground to meet the right. Arms come up over the head for a big stretch. I want you to imagine you're being stretched from both directions. Somebody's got your ankles, somebody else has your arms. And you're elongating nice and long through the body. Big, deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, drag those legs up, bring the arms around the shins or the thighs, and pull the knees into the chest, yeah? On your next exhale, bring your forehead up to the knees so you're really rounding yourself up into this little ball. And then inhale, stretch it back out, feet long, arms up and over the head. Nice big stretch, and again, exhale, knees coming into the chest, round all the way up, big squeeze here. Good, and then roll all the way up to a seat. Cross at the ankles and see if you can't make your way into that nice tabletop. You might have to scoot yourself around a little bit on your mat. So we're just gonna start here on our tabletop and explore our arms, right? So when we're doing a cat-cow, on that exhale, we want to round those elbow creases in so they face one another. And you should feel your shoulder blades pulling apart, right? And then on that inhale, again, look at your elbow creases. Roll them out so they're facing the front of the mat. And that's where we drop into the spine and we lift the chest and we lift the gaze. So let's really focus on those arms tonight as we exhale, pull the belly in, round the spine up, draw the chin into the chest. And inhale, look up, gaze forward, shoulder blades draw down the back and those elbow creases forward. Keep going, matching your own breath to movement, yeah? Try to breathe through the nose. After you finish your next exhale, find that table. We're going to tuck those toes under and lift up into the hips to find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So pedal out your feet, yeah? Come up high onto one heel, kick that hip out to the side, move it to the other, like you're moving through, something like Jello or Pilaf mud, right? You're moving slowly here. You're really paying attention to what's happening in the body. Moving the chin into the chest, lifting through that spine. Now let those heels grow heavy. Pull that belly button in and up, right? So it's like literally moving up into the bottom of that rib cage. Nice full deep breaths here. We're gonna look forward and maybe hop to the front of the mat or just walk, right? Whatever you can do and find your way into that nice forward fold. And then inhale, lift halfway. Your hands are gonna come onto the shins or the thighs. Crown of that is gonna extend forward towards the front of the room. And then exhale, fold forward. Now I want you to look at your toes. Bring your big toes to touch, leave a space in the heels. Think about squeezing those knees and those inner thighs together. Shift your weight back into the heels, slightly bend into the knees, right? So our fingertips are still on the floor here. We're sort of working our way into a chair position. Keep shifting those hips back slightly. And then I just want you to reach your hands forward like a robot. So we're grabbing for something out in front of us, yeah? Feel how that belly lifts, find that nice flat back, and draw the shoulder blades back in space. Inhale, stand all the way up, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, palms to heart center. Hinge forward, forward fold, draw the chin into the chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. We're going to do that again. Bend the knees, arms extend, parallel to the floor. And then inhale, come to stand. We're going to do that one more time. Exhale, palms to heart center, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release, bend the knees. Inhale, find this mini chair. And inhale, come to stand. Bring the palms to heart center. Close the eyes here in Tadasana, mountain pose, just for a breath or two, yeah? Feel the sternum lifting up into where the thumbs are pressing, drop into the tailbone. So we're lengthening through the spine. Maybe a slight smile comes across the face. And then we look up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release, bend the knees. This time we're going to take those arms up a little bit higher. And then we're going to sit a little bit more on the exhale and reach those arms back for the wall behind us, right? Like we're in the skier's pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, take it up. I know you guys are going to be loving chair by the end of the day today. One more, reaching it up. Exhale, take it back. Good. Take those hands, interlace your fingers, and find again that forward fold with the arms moving with that clasp position up and over the head. Big chest stretch here. And then slowly let those arms come back to the floor. Roll up through the spine. That should feel good, one vertebra at a time. Coming to stand. Good. Let's go ahead and inhale. Reach those arms up. And we're going to bring our hands, and it's a hard time seeing this. We're going to take our hands together in prayer, and then we're just going to fold our arms back. So the elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling, right? And our palms are down, sort of right at the base of our skull. We're just going to hold here. Notice, right? Are you swaying a lot into your back? Draw that pelvis forward. I want you guys to stay here. I just want you to take a slight bend to the right and center. Keep those elbows lifted. Left and center. One more. Right, center, left, and center. Good. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, dive over the feet. Bend the knees. This time, step or jump back. Find your plank, top of a push-up. Let's go ahead and hold a nice strong plank here. And then we're going to take a flow of your choice tonight. So you can do yeast gesture, you can do chaturanga, you can take a child's pose if you want. Anything goes. We're all going to be in downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Notice where you're breathing. Try to breathe, belly breathe, and breathe through the nose. Inhale, look forward. Let's come back into that plank. And on the exhale, bring the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, and then roll all the way down onto your belly. We're going to bring those arms out, and we're going to make our way into Sphinx pose. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders. The palms are straight ahead, palms facing down, right? Our feet are apart. You can have a little bit of width in those legs. That feels good. Press those toenails into the floor. Really engage into the legs. Feel some energy there through the legs, yeah? So we're going to begin to pull that belly button away from the floor. So we really have to utilize that tucking action of that tailbone. And then we move our way up into the chest. So as we traction our hands energetically back towards our legs, let's go ahead and open the chest, shoulder blades back. We're gazing forward and our chin is parallel to the floor. So there's lots going on here in our Sphinx pose. Breathing in deeply, we're pulling that belly away from the floor. Good. And then on your next breath, I want to see if you can maybe press into the arms and come up a little bit higher. Now, some of you may have to like swing your arms out so they're pointing towards the edges of the mat. So it's a little bit wider opening, right? Just take another breath or two, whichever one you took. And then exhale, slowly release down. Bring your palms one on top, or your forearms, one on top of the other, and then let the forehead rest for a moment on the forearms. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Good. As you're ready, lift your head. Bring those hands alongside the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Come up through table or through plank pose. And again, find your downward facing dog. Let that left foot stay heavy and reach that right leg up. Three-legged dog, toes are pointing down. We're going to go ahead and step that right foot between the hands. Come down onto the left foot and inhale into our low lunge here. So arms are up over the head, right? We have nice strong arms. Keep the elbows nice and straight, not bent. And then we're going to come into those goalpost arms. So we're just going to go ahead and take those elbows, right, at the same height as the shoulders. From here, we're just going to take that twist to the right, look over the right side, and then inhale back to center. Take that exhale and twist. Inhale through center. One more, just like that. Twist. Whoops. And center. Good. Hands come to the floor. We tuck that back toe, and we come up into this like low lunge. Left hand is going to come alongside the right foot. Right hand to right thigh. Inhale, stretch your chest, crown of the head forward, and then exhale, twist to the right. Maybe that right arm reaches up towards sky. Maybe it comes over the head, palm face down. Nice long lines of energy. And then looking at the floor, we're going to go ahead and replace the right hand. Step that right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Inhale, find your plank. And then exhale, flow your way. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Right, we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. All right, moving on to the other side. Right foot stays heavy, left leg stretches back, and then we step the left foot between the hands. We're going to come down onto that right knee, untuck your toes, and then make our way into our low lunge on the other side. So really think about squeezing those thighs together here. Knee and ankle are in the same line, squaring off our hips. And then taking those arms into those goalpost arms, good. Inhale, big breath, exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Take that twist, really feeling it coming from that. We're lifting the ribs away from the pelvis, making lots of space, lots of room here. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the back knee, really press through that heel. And then take the left hand onto that left knee. So we do this in stages or kramas for a reason, right? You don't just like throw ourselves into a pose. You really want to think about each part of the body and what it's doing. So as we reach the crowns of the head forward, right, we're pressing out through that back heel. We're activating, we're opening up the chest as we twist. And then we're reaching that arm up if that feels good to you. Noticing that left knee is not flailing out to the side, we're pulling it in towards the center of the body. Maybe that arm extends over the head, palm face down. And then slowly we look at the floor, release the left hand, step that left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Come up high on those tippy toes, bend the knees, and see if you can't hop back to the front of the mat. Finding our standing forward fold. You can always walk. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and release. Yep, you know where we're going. Bend those knees. Shift your weight back. Find chair, Utkatasana. Let those arms reach up and over the head. Sit down a little bit further in your chair. And then bring those palms to heart center. We're going to take a little chair twist here tonight. So hinging forward from those hips. Look at the floor in front of you. And then exhale, take that right elbow to the outside or in between the knees, right? If you can't make that full twist. So again, we're doing that same work of lengthening through the crown of the head, extending through the spine, and then twisting. Some of you are going to stay here. Others of you are going to be able to open your arms. One hip, the fingertips pointing towards the floor, towards the ceiling. Coming back through center. Hands at prayer. Go ahead with a moan. Find a standing forward fold. Straightening those legs as much as is comfortable for you without locking in the knees. And on the other side, again, we're going to bend into those knees. Inhale, arms up, chair pose. Hands at prayer, we're going to hinge forward and twist to the left. Right, so take your time. Don't worry if that left elbow doesn't come outside that knee, or the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Opening up those arms if that feels comfortable. Slowly bring your hands back to prayer. Coming back through center, and again, dive over the legs, standing forward fold. Whew. All right. From here, bend the knees, yeah? We're gonna step or hop back, coming into our plank. And again, take a vinyasa of your choice. Long back and down dog. So coming into a little pigeon here. If you don't like pigeon this way, you can always do it on your back. So we're gonna lift that right leg and then bring that right knee up into that right elbow. Walk that left leg back and scoop the foot right as much to parallel as we can. Mine is certainly not to the knee, yeah? And if you like, you can take that blanket, right, that you used at the beginning. It's always nice sometimes, right? So if that right hip tends to be away from the mat, you can kind of tuck it up underneath that right sits bone just to kind of help you here. And if you'd like to do supine pigeon, you're gonna lay on your back and you're gonna bring that right ankle across that left knee. And you can hold there or just lift that left leg, right? It's your choice. So right now we're in this like upward facing pigeon. So finding a little bit of a back bend as we walk our arms back. And then slowly as you're ready, exhaling, walking yourself down. You can have a block up underneath your forehead. You can use your forearms. Maybe your head reaches all the way to the floor. But whatever position you're in your pigeon here, I want you to relax. And I want you to breathe down into those hips. We store so much there. So much. Can you release and relax? Can you find some comfort here? We're going to be here for a couple minutes, so I really want you to let it be, as they say. All right, slowly take your time, walk those hands up, yeah? Tuck those toes under. So the easiest way to get out of this, I find, is to kind of creep forward, right, with that back leg. Bring those hands down onto the mat and slowly lift yourself up. Find that three-legged dog or even take the leg higher, right, into a little bit more of a split here, stretching. If you want, you can play around a little bit. You can stack your hips. Roll the ankle, you can move that leg around if that feels good. And then bring that right foot down. Let's find downward facing dog. And while we're here, you can take the blanket and just move it over to the other side so you're ready to go, yeah? All right, that right foot stays heavy, left leg reaches up and back. Pull the knee in and then take it behind that left wrist. Walk the right leg back, untuck the toes. So again, you might see better on this side, right? I can take my blanket and just kind of tuck it up underneath that hip. So my hips are nice and square. When I move my hands back for that upward facing pigeon, right? I can really feel that stretch happening with ease. I'm not hurting into my joints or any parts of my body. And then slowly working your way back down again. Nice and slow, taking your time. And you might notice, I've said this before, you know, one side of our body typically is a little bit more happy than the other. You might notice this is your happier side, or this might be your crackier side. Just give it the same love and intention. Breathing down deep into the belly. What's happening in the jaw and in the neck? Can you soften there as well? What thoughts are going through your mind? Can you be right here in this moment? Your beautiful self. Your unique thread in this tapestry of all. Can you feel your own power and presence in everything that makes you the only you that there is? Who would want to be somebody other than yourself? I mean, you don't know anybody else's story or journey, things that they've gone through. I think we have a hard enough time sometimes living inside our own containers. We just make it that much more painful to try and force ourselves to be or do or want what others have or what we perceive. Because we tell stories, even with people we don't know, right? We think that they have it better for whatever strange reason. Let this be the year to celebrate you, your authentic, beautiful self. My word for this year, I've picked a word every year for the last, 20-something years of my life, is abundance. One of my values, my core values, is to be present. And so I'm also sort of putting that in the forefront of my mind as well, being more present to the moment. But abundance doesn't always mean money and how we feel about money or possessions. It's a state of mind, right? Do we wake up every morning with this feeling of lack, or do we wake up with this feeling of, yes, I have everything I need, right? Abundance. And I think that attracts more and more and more. All right, slowly bring yourself back up. Tuck those toes under, inch forward like that little inchworm, and then reach that left leg up to the sky. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. And then as you're ready, releasing it down. You can keep it up there and move around a little bit. Find your down dog. And we're going to have that right heel stay heavy and let that left leg reach up. Step that left leg, right leg between the hands. And this time we're going to inhale into a high lunge. So taking our time again, right? We want to square out those hips into that knee. And again, we're going to take those arms into those goalposts. Arms. Nice deep inhale, exhale, twist to the right. Come back to center. 2 more, just like that. Keep those arms nice and straight and lifted. Good. We're going to drop into that back heel and open up into a nice strong warrior 2. Reverse the warrior. And warrior 2. Again, reverse. Last time. Good. Cartwheel your hands to the floor. Right followed by left. We're going to step the right foot back and hold. So let that right foot be heavy and left leg reaching up. And stepping that right foot between the hands, make your way again up into that lunge. Dropping into that knee as deeply as we can, right? Squaring off those hips. Arms are nice and straight. Bring those arms into that goalpost and then twist. Take it back to center. Again, keep thinking lifting, right? Once we're back to center, go ahead and drop into that heel. Find your warrior 2, gaze over those front fingers. Find your drishti. Reverse the warrior. And again, arms melt to the floor. This time we're going to step that left foot up, right foot up to meet the left in our forward fold, and you know what we're going to do again. We're going to open up our feet though. So find your feet right underneath your hips. So you might have a fist width distance between your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, bend into the knees and find chair. So we're in a wider chair position. And I want you just to notice in your chair, in this chair, if you feel like it's easier for you or harder for you. Right, we're still tucking that tailbone under, we're lifting through that sternum. Chest is lifted. If your arms are tired here, you can always take them to prayer. Can you sit a little bit more into your chair? Sit more, you can do it. All right, we're gonna do skiers right here, okay, with our legs apart. So what I want you to do is press into the outside edges of your feet, and then exhale, take those arms back behind you. Crown of the head reaching forward. Maybe that belly is actually touching onto the thighs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach it back. Try not to grip into the toes. Inhale, lift. Last one. Reach it back. Take hold of the hands. Put the opposite thumb on top this time. Straighten your legs and your arms. Go back and up over the head. Standing forward fold. All right. Slowly let those hands melt to the floor. Shake your head yes and no. Let go of any tension that you might still be holding on to here. Good. And then we're going to find our way back into a plank. So you can step or you can hop back. Plank pose, top of our push-up. Knees come to the floor, untuck the toes. Roll all the way down. We're coming back into Sphinx. Strengthening that mid-back area here tonight. Feet are apart. Right, we're going to energize through those legs, press down through those toes. Pull that belly button away from the floor, in and up, open the chest. Traction those hands back. Really, you should feel this in the arms. You should actually feel some tension in your tricep muscles here. If you want to open up the arms now and take them out to the edges of the mat, you can. You can keep them straight ahead. Relax those shoulders, right? We don't want those shoulders up by the ears. And then as you're ready, if you feel like it, inhale, lift. Slowly lower all the way down. Go ahead and make those pillows again out of your forearms and let that forehead relax. If you'd like, you can bend the knees and you can kind of windshield wiper your feet back and forth. That might be a nice little added release on anything that's gripping. And then we're going to reach our fingertips forward. Forehead is going to come onto the mat. So the left hand and the left foot are going to press into the floor. We're going to bend the right leg. We're going to reach the right hand back. Find the foot or the ankle, yeah? So we're stretching long through that left side body, and we're trying to draw that right heel towards the buttocks. So keeping the knee on the ground preferably. Some of you might be able to even like kind of rotate your hand so that your heel of your hand is up on your, like on your toes and your elbow is pointing upward. Slowly release that right leg, right hand comes out. Other side, we're gonna bend the left leg, reach back with the left hand, pull that heel towards the buttocks. Stretching out the front side of the leg now, right? That quadricep muscle, that big muscle group. Press down into that right hand. Soften the face, feel the breath. And again, reach that right hand overhead. Left leg down. We're gonna go straight into a Superman here. So take one breath, and then your next inhalation, lift everything off the floor. If you want, you can take the hands back like those goalposts and extend them forward, kind of like you're swimming. Or you can keep them static, your choice. One more breath. Take the hands alongside the body, bring your favorite cheek to the mat. And just relax here. Again, if you want to bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs back and forth, you can do that. Take your opposite cheek to the mat. Last little bit here. As you're ready, go ahead and bring the forehead back to the floor. Hands are going to come up underneath the shoulders. You're going to press yourself back up to table and find child's pose. So knees can be wide if you like, or together. Just stretch it out here. If you want to take like a nice thread the needle twist in child's pose, you can do that as well. Either way. If you do thread the needle, make sure you do both sides. And slowly, let's go ahead and make our way back up. We're going to come onto one hip and come forward into a staff pose, Dandasana. Yeah. So let's use that strap again tonight, just for a minute here. And we're going to stay in a static Dandasana for just a little bit. So strapping around the balls of the feet. Take the strap into the arms or the hands, and then let's go ahead and move those shoulder blades down the back so we're sitting up nice and tall. Again, chin is parallel to the floor, sitting bones are rooted down. And we can feel, we're trying to make that effort, right, of drawing the pelvis forward, right? So we're beginning that forward motion access, but we're not really folding forward. We're sitting high up on those sits bones. We're pulling the pinky edge side of our toes back towards us. Keep lifting through that belly so you don't feel any pressure in the low spine. Maybe close the eyes here so you're really concentrating on what's happening in the muscles of your body. We don't want to dump into any of our joints, right? So that could be easily done if we sort of melt our upper body down. We want to keep lifting and lengthening through the rib cage, making room. Last breath here. Good. You can go ahead and release that strap. We're going to bend that right knee and pull it into the chest, and then take it out to the side. Yeah. So try to get that foot as high up inside that left thigh as you can, and let that right knee relax down to the floor. Hips are square still. And then we're going to see if we can't take a little easeful bend forward, like we're squeezing that toothpaste tube, right? So we're reaching the chest like over our knee. Hands can come on either side of the leg. They can come on the floor. If you want to work back here, put the hands behind you. So you're sort of helping reach your chest forward. That's fine too. Imagine that right knee is moving in towards that left arch of that left foot. And then inhale, come up. Good. Go ahead and bring that knee back up and then down. Shake it out. Other side. We're going to put that left leg in, take it out to the side. Really sit up on both sits bones nice and tall. Big inhale here, and then exhale, we fold forward. So many times our ego sort of gets in our way, right? We want to be like somebody else or do something else or be more Gumby-like, or I wish I could do this. You know what? Be more like, ah, wow, look at this. I can come this far. Look at what my body can do, right? Doesn't matter. All right, come back up through center. Pull that left knee in. Shake it out. We're going to bend those knees. And we're going to work our way all the way down onto the back. So find your strap again. And I want you to strap your ankles. Right, so we're coming into bridge pose here. But we're strapping our ankles. So we're actually going to be holding the strap around our ankles. Our feet are hips width distance apart. Walk the shoulder blades up under the body. And then inhale, roll up through the spine. I want you guys to open up your palms so that you're sort of rolling them outward. Lifting the chest. Press your legs into that strap. Feel how the chest lifts up. And exhale, release. Just hang out here for a minute. We're going to do that again. Rolling up through the spine. Oh, what should we? And exhale, release. Good. So you can go ahead and remove that strap, and we're going to make our way into an inversion of your choice. Shoulder stand or headstand or Viparita Karani. Or do another bridge pose. Right, just find those legs up. Working on that thyroid, helping the venous system. I'll just remind you guys, this is a great thing to do at the end of the day. If you've been on your feet all day, it helps relieve swelling. Your legs will be so much happier. It's such a powerful thing. If you're tired and you don't want to do it this way, do legs up the wall, right? Shimmy yourself against the wall and let your legs be supported by the wall. I miss doing my wall classes with you guys. I really do. Get so much benefit from the wall. All right, bend the knees. Take whatever props you use out of the way, and we're going to walk our feet nice and wide. Arms are going to come out. We're going to let the legs just dangle over to the left, and we're going to look over the right shoulder. On your next inhalation, walk your knees back up. And then on your next exhale, take them to the right. When you're ready, look over your left shoulder. Now as you're ready, bring the knees back up through center. And whatever final movements that you need to make before Shavasana, I invite you to do that now. And then just easily make your way into that final resting place. Slowly beginning to bring your attention back, allowing the mind to settle back in on the breath, filling up, expanding on your inhale, and releasing, letting go on your exhale. Noticing how the body's feeling right now, feeling the mat underneath you, the cool air on top of you. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. You might want to move your head a little bit or open the mouth, stretch out the jaw. Bending the knees, let's bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Staying here on our back just for a moment. And if it's the evening, rolling to the right. If it's early, rolling to the left. If you need a little bit more energy, rolling to the left. And we make our way up into that seated upright position, an comfortable Sukhasana. Legs can be crossed. And bring the palms together at heart center. We're going to close with an Om this evening. And I just want you to offer that sound, that hum, whatever definition you need to put on it for yourself. It really isn't anything. It's just a universal sound vibration. But do it for yourself. Send that loving energy to that perfect person of you. Take a nice full deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. And gently inhale for Om. The light in me sees, recognizes, and honors that light in you. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.